Every day the wind comes out to play. It freshens the earth and gives us energy. In ways that we often do not see. Wind energy is the world's free and limitless power source, utilized for many thousands of years. In 1986, a journey began with the dream of making electricity from wind power a reality. Kukru was not a known destination in Madhya Pradesh. A tiny, scenic, backward village of 250 residents in the Betul district, in the lap of the Satpura range, at an altitude of 1,100 meters. But the wind blew strongly in these parts. The core idea of harnessing the wind came from Mr. Ranjit Dotto, who had experienced the fascinating new technology in the United States of America. The wind factor in Kukru was noticed by Mr. M.S. Chaudhary, ex-Chief Secretary and Chairman of the Dairy Development Corporation, who wondered if electricity could be produced to chill the milk for safe transportation to Betul. He relayed the information to Mr. C.S. Chadda, the first Managing Director of the MP Urja Vikas Nigam, and organized a visit to help crystallize a plan for implementation. A visit to the site led to an initial short-term wind data collection, and a decision was taken to install an experimental 50-kilowatt wind turbine. A location at a slightly higher elevation was selected near a lone tree. It was quite an adventure. Knowledge was inadequate. Technical and commercial aspects were totally unknown. There was no experience. Road connections were poor, and there was no infrastructure. The decision to import only the wind turbine and the control panel from the USA, and especially to design and fabricate the tower locally, aggravated the situation. The biggest challenge was to lift the 2-ton turbine to a height of 80 feet without a crane. A superstructure was specially designed to lift the generator and the blades using a cantilever platform. There were just 4 people to do the job: a supervisor and 3 semi-skilled fitters, people who are still with us today. Support also came from a professional group who erected transmission towers. The machine was successfully commissioned on the 4th of July 1986, precisely 25 years back. It was the first project, with no Government of India assistance and at an inland site. The lone tree remained as mute witness of a successful adventure. Once the first step was taken, a road map was prepared to venture into new horizons. The mission was to produce pollution-free electricity. The vision was to create energy security in the true perspective. The means was to acquire the knowledge and continuously upgrade the skill. The Agency to Promote Renewable Energy at the Government of India level, DNES, was at the formative stage, and 3 scientists cum planners, Dr. J. Guru Raja, Mr. Ajit K. Gupta, and Dr. K. K. Singh, wholeheartedly extended their cooperation. The initial 5 years were spent in gaining experience by monitoring a few grid-connected wind turbines installed in the country and experimenting with small standalone battery chargers. Experience was also gained in another renewable energy technology, biomass gasification. Indigenously developed technologies were trying to harness the vast biomass resource base to provide decentralized source of electricity in remote villages. It meant crossing the first milestone. Denmark stepped in with aid to set up 20-megawatt wind farm projects in Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, and they demonstrated for the first time the reliability and commercial viability of wind power projects. The first major investment in a large project was made by Dalmia Cement Bharat Limited. It marked the beginning of commercial ventures by the private sector, and it set the trend.
Farm project is one of the most viable propositions to my mind. And in fact, where there is almost all states now go through power shortage. Investors should take care of one thing is they should select the site properly. Site is one of the most important areas because the generation depends on the quality of the wind. The experts' advice is a must. In fact, we spend quite a good sum on this, I think, which has paid us.
The second milestone was crossed when the World Bank line of credit was made available to finance private commercial wind farms. The consultant was asked to prepare a comprehensive document to guide prospective investors. For gasification, biomass resources in tea gardens were studied. New horizons opened up, and the seedling turned into a small plant. But the growth was sporadic and haphazard. Investors had to arrange for land and entire infrastructure except the wind turbine. Like the wind, things began to pick up speed. It was decided to create wind power estates through private sector partnership. At the Government of India level, a full-fledged Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources was set up with the Director of Wind Power, Mr. Ajit Gupta, preparing a detailed guideline. The Memorandum of Understanding for the first, and till then the only joint sector company, MP Wind Farms Limited, was signed on the 14th of July 1994, with equity participation by the governments of India and Madhya Pradesh. Land was acquired near the town of Devas. Detailed design and engineering was done for the procurement of equipment, and the construction was carried out in a professional and time-bound manner. The first turbine was commissioned on the 26th of July 1995 on an exacting time schedule.
I would like to congratulate also Mr. Dev. He has been arguing for wind energy development for more than 2 decades.
It marked the beginning of a new era that offered single window service to small investors. This model, developed through MP Wind Farms Limited, or MPWL, is now followed by all wind turbine manufacturers to provide turnkey solutions. And the company paid dividend in the very first year and declared bonus shares. A comprehensive directory on wind power was published, the single most comprehensive document on the wind power industry in India, and the first website was hosted to popularize wind power. The joint sector company achieved its goal, and the third milestone was crossed with much confidence. Incidentally, when the growth rate faltered, electricity regulatory commissions were established, both at the central and state levels, through the enactment of the new Electricity Act. The Maharashtra State Electricity Regulatory Commission was the first to avail the consultant services for the determination of tariff for the sale of energy to state utility. Subsequently, the consultant services were availed by a large number of industrial investors, and the fourth milestone was crossed. The declaration of tariff and the establishment of norms by ERC drew the attention of large public sector undertakings. The first major public sector undertaking to be motivated was ONGC, and they established a 50-megawatt project. The State Bank of India followed, and they now own quite a few wind farms. MP Wind Farms also commissioned their second 15-megawatt unit at Nagda Hills, Devas, for 5 different investors. The consultant services were primarily related to core engineering activities and the estimation of energy output. Allied services were also offered for rural electrification, wind diesel hybrid systems, and village energy security programs through the use of gasifiers. These specialty services were utilized by many industrial investors, including Asian Development Bank, who asked the consultant to prepare a business plan for a 500-megawatt project. Commercialization of wind energy had become a reality. It was the 5th milestone crossed. Kukru, where the journey began, was not forgotten, and detailed designs for a 50-megawatt project has now been developed. The dream continues. The journey began with a 50-kilowatt wind turbine, and lately a 2,100-kilowatt turbine has been commissioned. A multiplying factor of 42 times has been achieved in 25 years. The consultant's path has covered a full circle, and now the process has started for repowering the first major private sector wind farm of Dalmia Cements. Old small-capacity wind turbines are being replaced by large-capacity wind turbines with modern technology. The consultant remains the same, CECL. Decentralized wind-solar hybrid systems, desperately needed in remote locations, particularly in the northeastern states, and in Leh and Ladakh, was well appreciated, and wind resource maps have now been prepared. On the 4th of October 2009, CECL moved into its own new premises, a 5-storied eco-friendly building. CECL is confident of making contributions of fundamental significance to achieve the national target of producing up to 80% of clean energy from wind power, with the new addition of 20,000 megawatts of wind power by the end of the 12th plan, and to reach the 40,000 megawatt mark of the new additions by 2020. CECL remains focused on sustainability, the ability to be here for the future. CECL believes that flowing air shall light up millions of homes in places where delivering electricity now seems rather impossible. Quiet, remote places will come alive. The common people of our country particularly the tribal communities living in remote corners, will enjoy prosperity, energy security, and a fuller life.